Good morning, everybody. Brian Keller here with Justin.
Good morning.
Nick from the store. Matt is out sick again. I think he's just trying to not be a part of the show. Nah, I'm just full of crap. He's on like every show we do.
He's probably out fishing after all those ice reports. I think he's probably
you think so?
Checking that stuff out.
Nice. Yeah. So anyway, we're here with Justin and Nick. We just want to talk a little bit about the Real Shot, the changes that have happened since last fall. Just kind of get people caught up a little bit that might not be paying attention. There's a lot of changes on the floor, not only in leadership, who's in charge. Oh my God, nice. You just broke it.
Word.
Andy, do you want to come here and fix this? This guy just broke. He literally just broke it.
Oh my
God. Yeah, just
plug it in.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
this is the guy.
This is why we can't have nice things, Brian.
This is the guy that's in charge of the Real Shot right here. Hey, doesn't everybody feel?
Hey, the funk is going through the store.
Doesn't Yeah, you gotta use. You gotta push it back here. Doesn't everybody feel super special?
You guys are all safe.
This is the guy who's in charge, Nick. How do you feel about that?
You know, I don't want to comment.
Fair enough. I can understand that.
Well, when they just throw you in here, impromptu.
Yeah, that's okay. Justin gets nervous.
I do. I'm not a huge fan of this.
He gets nervous. You do a good job though. Here's my thing. Like, everybody in the store gets nervous with this stuff. You, Nick, Ty, everybody gets nervous. But you all do a great job.
Yeah.
Every time we put a camera in front of you guys, you do a fantastic job.
You know, the first couple of times with the camera in your face, it was a little difficult. But once you got used to it, you got used to it.
Well,
I'm just not used to this mic, and I thought it was more durable. What kind of stuff
you gotta move it back here. You gotta
I don't know. Is this too close?
No,
that's actually perfect.
That's actually perfect.
That sounds way better like that.
You want to eat the mic.
Eat it?
Yeah, you want to eat the mic.
I've been licking my ice cream, though.
Well, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So anyway, we'll start at the top, right? So Justin's in charge of the store now. You're the general manager for the Real Shot. Yep. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I won't ask Nick how he feels about that because he's literally sitting right next to you.
Nick is a great team player. We have a great staff. We all get along.
I think we do. It's fantastic.
We all fish, hunt.
I think here's just trivia fact. Like, I don't know if people think this or not, but I literally have like zero to do with the day-to-day operations of the store. That's literally you and Ty and Mike and Andy, Andrew over in Guns. Like, I literally have nothing to do on a day-to-day level with the store. It's all you guys. You guys do such an awesome job with that.
Well, it sounds like a bunch of raises coming in.
It sounds like it.
I heard nothing like that at all. I heard somebody's giving you a compliment, and then you just dig a hole.
I'm digging holes. No, yeah, we from buying the tackle to merchandising it to organizing. We just got.
And we don't have like this huge back staff. Like, it's everybody's on the floor.
Like
all the buyers are on the floor. Like, if customers want to come in and say, "Hey, Nick, why is this not here?" It's literally like you're a major part of that, right?
Exactly.
Oh, it's a huge asset to our customers too, though, because they have access to people that have access to all the hunting and fishing supplies.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go up the chain anywhere because they are at the top of the chain.
Right.
Yep, it's not an orange pumpkin blank stare in your face. So
absolutely.
No, we enjoy it. We love our customers. We like what we do. So
our customers
it makes it
awesome.
easy.
Yeah,
it does make it easy.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Well. I didn't say.
Next time you're complaining about something, I'm going to be like, Justin, January 25th. What is it?
Maybe it's the back room staffing that makes it more difficult. I don't know.
Oh, shit. January 25th. Justin said it's easy. Anyway, so let's talk about, if you haven't been into the store in a while, I think there's a dramatically different look when you walk through the front doors. You want to talk about that a little bit? Like, what people are going to see different now than maybe 3 months ago?
Yeah, well, you're going to see a store packed with goods. Our inventory levels have increased significantly over the last
almost doubled
in the last 2 months. And customers they've seen it. Pegs are full. We were running some awesome deals too because we have a little bit of extra stock. Some of the buyers bought maybe too much stuff.
That happens.
But yeah, we're doing our best to keep it full, clean, merched, and the sales staff ready to help you. So
morning, Daryl.
The one thing we did shut down the range.
Yep.
We put some racking.
That was quite a while ago, but
yeah.
Yeah,
are you talking about the little range?
The little range.
Little range, yep.
Completely gone.
We had that 20-yard indoor range so guys could sight in, shoot crossbows, whatever. So that's temporarily closed. Our goal on the range is to get the rest of the merch pushed.
Okay.
And then have it reopen hopefully by August.
Okay.
Is kind of the goal. So
Nice.
we like to offer that range. It's kind of a nice add-on for our customers. So
Right. Okay. Cool.
we don't want to take anything. We want to keep building this ship and making it better for everybody locally. So
Fair enough.
that's kind of our focus, is to focus on the local now.
Yep.
And be the premier tackle shop in the valley, if not the state of Wisconsin.
Well, and I think you see that when you walk in and you see that wall of plastics now.
Yeah.
Like some people have a wall of plastic. There's a lot of stores with walls of plastics.
Yeah.
I would put ours up against anywhere in the country. If you come in and see this thing,
There's
I
a
mean,
lot
how
of
long is
plastic.
that wall?
I don't know, 80 feet, 80, I don't know.
100 feet, maybe 80 feet,
Yeah.
and it's top to bottom. It's
Top
a
to bottom.
15-foot tall wall,
Yep.
and it is top to bottom full of plastics.
Yep.
I'm not even exaggerating, am I? You probably put most of them up there.
No.
Yeah, no, we have, man, the tackle selection here is unmatched. I mean, I would compare it to Shields, Fleets. All the tackle stores in the valley probably don't have half the assortment that
Not
we
even
have.
close.
Not even
Not
close.
even-
Not even close, because just if you look at the Shields in Appleton, our fishing department is the size of their hunting and their fishing and some of their like workout area.
Oh, yeah, no.
And that's
yeah.
all fishing tackle here.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
And that's their apparel, their everything, right?
Right.
yep.
So that's, I mean, just that alone is awesome. So what, is there one thing, I mean, actually Kyle's got a question. Anything new from Megabass that we've got in right now, or is that stuff not here yet?
2023 Megabass. I know Kyle's still on the beat getting that worked up. I have not seen any new bass, although I know he tries to keep up with the southern market and bring the product in early.
Okay.
Being a little further north, we kind of we push it out a little bit, try to coincide it maybe with the early spring walleye fishing so that all
Yep.
the tackle arrives at the same time. Everybody's thinking open water. So that's the plan. So yeah, nothing that I know of right now from Megabass that is new.
If there's something specific, Kyle, send it in here and we'll see if we can't get that over to Kyle. To the other Kyle Carpenter.
Yes, that Kyle.
So so open water aside, let's talk some ice fishing. That's why we got you guys in here. You guys both ice fish a lot. I am well documented that I ice fish never. I'm an open water fisherman. I do not ice fish.
No, that's
I
not
have
that
no luck on the
uncommon.
ice. I have no luck. I can't. I tried it a few times back in the early days of the Real Shot.
Yeah.
There was another guy here that I used to go ice fishing with
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
a bit. I'm a jinx. Then it seems to have carried down to my kid. So my 19-year-old Jimmy likes being outside. He goes ice fishing. He's not caught. He has not had a bite this year. Seriously, it's like a Keller jinx. We cannot catch fish on the ice.
We got to give you guys one of those community spots,
Right.
bucket of waxworms, and get
I
you
don't know what to
cooking.
tell you.
All right.
So let's just start locally. Let's just start local and kind of work our way out. Where have you guys been? I'm not expecting you guys to drop the juice at all, but just generalities.
No juice dropped, unless somebody asks on the stream. Then we might be throw a little juice at you.
No, but like
Right.
just ice conditions. It's got to be getting better now with the cold temps.
Yeah, Bagel was pretty sketchy on the west side. The main lake's pretty good. Poigan's been pretty solid all year long.
Okay.
That got a hard freeze, and it's pretty smooth sailing all over the
Nice.
place. Other than that, it's been pretty sketchy on like the river system.
Now, when you said Bago's sketchy, I know Battle and Bago's coming up here in like a month,
Yeah,
right? So that's a thing.
We're gonna
Like-
need some hard freeze, and then we got sturgeon spearing coming up too. So
Now, when you say sketchy, is it the ice is sketchy, the shorelines are
the
sketchy?
the west side was breaking up.
Okay.
but it was mostly the access points. So
Yeah,
I think
all
the,
the
That was
all
what I was
the
getting at.
access
Is it the
points.
landings that were getting
yeah,
really
well, we had
bad?
landings.
that rain and that runoff. So any drainage area, creek, culvert,
Had
anything
warm-
that is prone to runoff in the general vicinity got
Hammered
The
pretty
shorelines
hard.
got soft.
But
And
that's
then-
got to get hard. That's got to be frozen up again now, right?
Oh yeah, it's starting to lock up
It's starting to lock back up
this
yeah.
week.
Okay.
And then I don't know if anybody saw the temps for next week.
No, I didn't.
Chilly.
Saturday the high is 10 and it's just downhill from there.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're back to
10,
the
8,
the
6,
deep freeze.
4, 5 for the high.
So
Now
we're
that's,
making lots of ice.
that's the weatherman's prediction, so it could be 40 with raining, but
right.
As long
To
as
be
the
determined.
landings don't get pounded.
Right. Well, I ran into Glenn that runs Battle and Bagel this last weekend, and he said he's getting a ton of calls about, are you going to have the event, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, we're having it. He goes, you might
For sure.
you might not be able to drive your truck out as far as you want or whatever, but then you take it forward, right? Like, we're
Right.
having the deal. So
Right.
if anybody's watching this that is interested in Battle and Bagel, check it out. It's obviously one of the largest ice events in the country.
well,
Right.
and what are the is that how 5 years ago they opened it to the upper lakes. I don't even know the exact date.
Okay, yep. I
That
remember
takes a lot of pressure off Winnebago.
For sure, yep.
Pushes the pressure to Poygan. So I mean, it gets spread out as much as you can spread out 100,000 people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's such a huge deal. It's just
that 1 year they just
people
limited
are wondering because there's a lot that goes into that, right? People come from all over the country. I thought Glenn told me one time they had like 20 different states, or people here from like 20 different states.
It's a huge
It
deal.
might even be, that might not even be enough. Maybe it's 50.
huge.
I don't know. But I mean, if you're looking at coming here for something like that, you're trying to book hotel rooms, then everything gets full. And I think it's good for the people to know that it's like they're having it. Like they're not backing away from it. Like it's safe to book your...
I don't know if they've ever canceled.
No, they haven't. No. But I'm just saying, like, it's safe to book your stuff and
They
whatever.
did once?
Did they cancel once?
Once, and then 1 year they limited it to ATV and snowmobile traffic only.
Okay. So let's talk fishing for a little bit. Like, is there anything? I mean, is there fish biting? Is there anything like? What's going on? What's hot in the store? Like
before we leave the battle, and I think this is pretty common knowledge that usually that late in the season, a lot of your other stores let their inventories dwindle.
Yep.
Where the Real Shot's always been known for keeping ice fishing tackle in stock while we have ice. So it's always the perception the Fox River opens up, ice fishing's over. No, not really. I mean, there's people that will ice fish till the bitter end.
Oh yeah,
die hard. They don't care if the whole lake's open and one bay has ice
that
on
honeycomb
it.
stuff.
They're
right?
on that one chunk. So
and I mean, not
late
the ice
is
fisherman, but that's a really good time of year to ice fish,
Great.
right?
Yep. It's fantastic. So just keep that in mind. We keep our baits in stock. We have all the latest tech gear, flash.
So you're coming in for the battle, you better come up here and check us out.
If you're coming in for the battle, get your butt into the Real Shot.
There you go.
We'll still have the baits you need to catch fish.
We got a bulk basket of number 3, and number 5 clown wraps.
Yeah.
So
not running out of
clowns.
No, I shouldn't say that. But we're doing a pretty good job.
We'll try to run out, but we try not to.
We got hundreds.
I mean, so there's some of us that are trying to get you to run out, and then you guys are trying not to run out. It's kind of that's the game you got to play with this kind of stuff. So like what? Okay, so let's talk about the ice assortment for a little bit because obviously the store's packed. Like what do we like? What's new? What's the new great? Big sexy stuff with ice fishing this year.
I don't know.
I'll tell you the one thing I've noticed.
Nothing's real new, but I tell you what, those finicky foolers are catching on fire.
Yeah, finicky fooler is a super hot product. Something Nick's extremely familiar with. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, why don't you dive into it? What is the finicky fooler?
So the finicky fooler is just a rod-based tip-up. Stick a rod in there, you set the trigger up, and the trigger goes off, sends the flag up, and then you go over to reel your fish up with the rod instead of hand over hand.
Okay.
It's so awesome.
Now, do you use that with your kids a lot?
My kids love that.
Okay, I was just going to say, because you fish with your kids a lot. We were literally just talking about that this morning.
We were literally just talking about, but my daughter, she's been fishing with me since she was 3 with those things. She caught her first 24-inch her first fish was a 24-inch walleye on a finicky fooler.
Really?
Yeah, so all she did was grab the rod. Of course, I had the bait feeder option on first, so when she went to set the hook, it went, so all the line dumped out. Then I had to click it over, and she started reeling. But I got that all on video. Her first fish.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
One that's so huge with like having a rod and a reel versus hand over hand.
Oh, it's
because she went to be able to do it hand over hand.
No,
I'm not trying to pick on her, but I'm just like
2 tiny little arms going like this with a bunch of lines.
Well, then the fish starts running or whatever. Now she lets go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole disaster in the making.
Exactly. It's so much easier. Just grab a rod and just start cranking.
Well, you get the drag.
You got drag. So if the fish pulls, you can pull.
Nice.
But,
and then they can kind of see the rod bend and get a feel for not ripping it out of its mouth.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
It's kind of a neat system.
Awesome.
Sure.
Now, I mean, I'm assuming I understand ice, but you could probably put any kind of reel in there, right? So you could put if your kid wasn't old enough, you want to use a spin cast or something like that, you could probably get away with it, right?
Probably.
I mean, if you're in a shack, maybe you don't
spinning
want to be
reels
outside,
are so much easier.
What was that?
Spinning reels are so much easier on a setup like that. But I mean, I start my kids out with spinning reels right away.
I do too, but it's just a comfort level for certain people.
Sure.
I mean, right?
Yeah,
Push the button and go kind of deal. Versus
The sooner you can get the youngster started on it, though,
totally agree.
Awesome.
the better the outlook.
Do we even sell a lot of spin cast stuff anymore? Is everybody kind of on that? What was that?
We got like 2 reels.
Total? That's good. Well, I mean, tackle's so much better than it was even
There's
10
still
years
a market.
ago.
It's so much
kind of like
better.
bass fishermen, and people still bass fish, right?
Right.
Even though there's a lot of more cooler things to fish.
Oh boy,
for.
here we go.
Oh We need you, Kyle, Lance, and we just mess with you all day.
Yeah, I deeply encourage to start a kid with a spinning reel.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm on board 100%. I don't own one.
It's simple.
All right. Yeah, the only reason I brought it up was I know that's where a lot of people gravitate towards with their kids. When we were talking about, fishing with 2 and 3-year-olds, they gravitate towards those right away, maybe not knowing there's better other options out there.
Right.
Yeah, that system, literally, you can put any rod and reel in it.
Anything.
I mean, you could put a palm rod in there. I think
Right.
you could probably get it to work.
So you could put your kid's Snoopy pole in
You
there.
could put your kid's Snoopy pole in
Right?
there.
I mean, that
Yep.
they just got for Christmas. They just got their Snoopy pole. No, but seriously, this is another real thing. Like, Justin won't understand this, but your kids get stuff for Christmas, right?
Yep.
They want to use it. So you
Right.
bought them this Snoopy pole, Princess Barbie rod and reel, whatever, for Christmas for the cabin in the summer, right? That's why you bought it. Well, now you got a way you can actually use that ice fishing because those are actually pretty short rods.
I was a kid once, so I kind of understand.
I don't think you ever
little
had
bit.
one. You never had a Snoopy pole, dude.
I probably
I don't
did.
think you did.
Well,
I don't think you
to
did.
be determined. I'll have to look through the archives. There's probably pictures
Did they
somewhere.
make them back then?
Oh, but it's just but it's kind of cool to have an option. No, but it's kind of cool to have an option to let your kid use that stuff before open
Right.
water, right? That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
definitely.
Because kids love to use their stuff, right? And they get stuff for Christmas, they can't use it till April. That sucks.
Oh, yeah.
That's no fun. So I'll tell you the one thing I've noticed that a huge change over the 12 years now, or 13 years with the reel shot, is augers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, we went from all gas augers, right? And I remember that, like, we went from 10-inch augers to 8-inch augers. Remember that saga we had? We had those 10s.
yeah.
Nobody in Wisconsin wanted to use 10-inch augers anymore. Then we went from that to propane,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Then from propane to electric.
Yep.
And now electrics have gotten even smaller because now there's plastic augers.
Yep.
They're almost all
Composite. Yeah.
almost
Composite
all
augers?
composite fluting on. I mean, well, like vehicles, right? Look at vehicles nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's half the vehicles made out of plastic per se.
Right.
So the ice industry just kind of adapted that. In all the hundreds of units we've sold, I don't know if you've ever seen a broken plastic fluting
Never.
auger
They're
system.
flexible.
Yeah.
I was going to say that must be a concern with people. Plastic gets
It's
really
a question
cold.
that gets
Yeah.
asked a lot,
All
but
the
it's
time.
not really a concern. I mean, I run one.
But yeah,
one.
you run a metal auger over and it's bent.
Yeah.
You run a plastic flooding auger
right
over
back.
and it just bends.
That's amazing.
Bends
And the,
right back.
the weight's got to be like nothing now
Oh,
compared
it's-
to what the augers
It's
were.
silly, less than 4 pounds.
Like, you might not have needed back surgery if you had these lighter augers.
Right. The older I get, the weaker I get. These augers, the trend with the lightness of the augers is, I love
I mean,
it.
because I literally was just out there. Excuse me, I was just out there looking at that before, and that Ice Master, the Strike Master one.
Yep.
Yep.
I was like, this is like, there's like nothing to this anymore.
Nothing.
I mean, it used to like take up the back end of your truck.
So the transition from gas to propane actually increased the auger weight. The average auger
Yeah.
in gas was about 25 pounds.
Yep.
Once the propane came out with all the extra hoses and the cylinder on the power head, I think the Jiffy propane was probably one of the most popular propanes, and I think that came in at what, 36 pounds?
Yeah. The HC40, Eskimo HC40, that was a tank. I
Yeah.
had one of those. I loved it.
Monster.
I loved it. It started in 1-2 pulls every time, but it was so heavy.
But you got to be Arnold Schwarzenegger to cut more than 3 holes at a time.
Right?
I mean, holy shit, it's
Right.
unbelievable.
So what do these new ones weigh now?
The
mean-
24 volt I think is 14. The Strike
Yep.
Master 24 volts 14 and an 8-inch
the
cut.
new Alpha Ions, 15 pounds out of 40 volts.
So it's half
Out of
the weight of the
40 volt.
propane.
Yep.
halfway.
Half the weight.
And then if you go to the drill, just the drill auger system with the power drills,
Yep.
10
you're
pounds.
8 to 10 pounds is your
Really?
package. It's nothing.
Now, does that include the weight of the drill, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like cutting with a toy.
So you think that, no, do we sell those?
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
I wanted to clarify before. 'Cause
Feel free to ask any questions on
Yeah.
what we sell in the ice. I know you don't.
I don't pay attention.
Because if you shopped it, you'd.
I would know.
You would know.
I just don't. I have no desire.
This is
to
a
ice
judge-free
fish.
zone, as from what
This
I hear.
is it's well documented. I've never hid from the fact that I don't like ice fishing. Okay, I appreciate. I enjoy like helping other people like live out their fun with it. I would rather go snowmobiling.
Yeah,
Okay,
perfect.
it's just not a market we can get in.
I
is
blend the
snowmobiling.
two. I got a 2-up ditch pickle, I think it's called, at 20 miles an hour. Brrr.
No, I would rather go snowmobiling. That's just me. So, to each
Sure.
their own. But so with do you think it'll just go full drills eventually?
Oh, yeah.
Where just nobody will have the full auger anymore. It'll just be the
I don't know.
drills.
I'm on the fence. I don't know if I agree fully with that, Nick, on the
No.
full drills.
See, I'm just coming straight from a cost standpoint, right? If I can buy the drill
Right.
that I can use 12 months a year for all sorts of things.
Yep.
And then I can buy my auger attachment in the winter
For $200.
for $200. Why wouldn't I want to do that?
Right.
Yeah, no, it's hard to. I think maybe
I mean, I could buy 2 drills and then I got like
Right.
4 of them. I mean,
it's like
Right.
maybe a cost analysis type thing for folks because the StrikeMaster power heads. I think the electric motors in there are a little bit more powerful.
that was my question.
what
Is
you
there
find
an
in a
advantage to the auger head versus the drill? Speed, number of holes. I mean, is there an advantage to that? Because otherwise, if there isn't, I mean, I'm buying a drill all day long with my attachment.
Yeah, I love my pistol bit
You've
with the
probably-
Milwaukee fuel.
Yeah, that's
That Milwaukee
what
fuel
I
is a
run
beast.
to. It's pretty solid.
That's a beast of a
Are
drill.
we talking? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, it was just like we said. We went from gas, right? Gas to propane to electric. Is that the next evolution where all we have is a bunch of auger blades? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, is that something that can happen?
I don't know
I mean,
how.
it can obviously, but
Like, I couldn't foresee them getting this light and powerful.
right.
I don't know what 5 years brings. I don't know what else we can. What I don't know.
So
what
how
else.
many holes are you getting out of your drill?
So it depends on what battery you put on it. I run a 6 amp right now, and I can get probably 40 holes through 18 to 20 inches of ice.
Holy crap, that's a lot.
It's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And you can, I mean, you probably have what, 4 or 5 batteries because it's your drill,
Yeah, well,
right?
when the ice is that thick and I need to go through batteries, my truck has a charger. And so I just keep the charger with me and charge my battery as I go, a whole pop.
Well, look at this guy go.
So, I mean,
Well, he's really stepped up his game lately.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, most people that have a drill have more than one battery.
right.
They'll have 2 or 3 batteries typically, right? At least I do.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
now
batteries
it's-
are small.
Right,
I
they're
mean,
small.
You fit them
you
in your
can-
pocket.
I was just say that. You can throw it in your pocket, keep it warm if you're worried about
Yep.
that or whatever. If you get 40 holes out of one, I mean, 2 batteries, you can't outfish yourself.
No.
I mean, somebody's be like, yeah, I can. I drill 200 holes. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no,
You do that.
The people drilling 200 holes don't have live scope.
Oh, there we go. Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Like, you use that, right?
I do. I use Generation 1, the Panoptics.
Okay.
So it's the PS22 transducer and the live scopes running the new LVS 30.
Are you fishing live scope yet, or
I've used it.
okay?
I haven't yet.
Because I agree with you. That's got to be a massive game changer on the ice for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's silly. You
It
drill a
takes the
hole.
video game and makes it cooler.
Well, no, but like you can like,
Finding fish is completely different.
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're in a boat, open water, you can cover a lot of water, right? Like you
Right.
can move around, you can cast, you're trolling, even if you're casting, you're on 4 or 5, you're moving, right? You're covering water.
Yep.
That's what I've always had a hard time with ice fishing is I drill this hole and then I drop my little thing down there and there's nothing here. Now where do I go?
Oh, it's painful. And
Right.
mobility is key. Clearly in open water, it
Right.
is, right? You spending 5 minutes at a spot. If you don't see what you like, you're gone.
100%.
Well, when you got to move all your gear, I mean, it's just a lot more work.
I mean, I would
It's
think
painful at
I would think
times.
ice fishing. You drop that thing down there, you scan around, nothing here. You move quarter
100
mile, 100 feet, whatever. Do it again.
Yep.
I mean, eventually you're gonna find them. They
Eventually.
can't hide.
Or wear out.
They can't hide.
They can't.
See, and
hide.
that's where like people like we've had this conversation on the show quite a few times. Matt and I have about live scope and tournament fishing. I think the live scope's more dangerous on the ice because ice fishing's always been proven to kind of like that. You can really put a hurt on fish fish populations in a hurry
Yeah.
Right.
through the ice.
Yep.
And I'm not again.
Because there's so much more people on the ice.
Well, but it's just like they don't move. Like the fish don't move. Like if you get on that school, they just kind of sit there.
Yeah, I don't think they travel.
Does
as
that
much.
make sense? Like,
as far,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
They still travel.
but I mean, when you get on top of that school, like you don't like if there's 20 some inches of ice, they don't spook as much as open water, right?
Right.
So if you get on there and it's the right conditions, whatever, you can really put a hurting on that. And again, I'm not advocating for anything else. I mean, you guys pay for licenses just like open water guys do. If
Right.
it's a big enough issue, then somebody should take that up with changing regulations and whatnot.
Right.
But I could see where that would really not only be more effective on the ice, but also maybe where it starts to really
Impact the
push
fish
that
rate.
envelope more than tournament fishing.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think the average angler today is more skilled.
Agreed. Oh, 100%.
They have access to social media, to videos, to tips, to clips, to the technology. So
I mean, look at Nick. 4 years ago, he couldn't catch his thing, and now he's out
Nothing.
here
Not a-
just slaying
he
fish
came to
on a
me and
daily
he said, "Can I
basis.
get a job? And I want to learn how to fish."
Yeah,
I
he
said,
just got on
"You know what, Nick?
YouTube.
Let's do
Sorry,
it."
I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
I'm just kidding.
No, it is. I think.
No, but you're
I think
right,
you'll
though.
see it impact fisheries. I think you'll see regulation changes more. I think.
Well,
I mean,
what are
we're
they
seeing
going
it
to
on
do? Like, what are they going to do?
just reduce
can't.
bag limits. is
That's all they can do is reduce bag limits.
Yep.
That's the only option they have. And at some point, like,
And encourage policing yourself.
well, right, but
Right.
that takes people to be ethical.
Right.
Not everybody's ethical. I mean, obviously,
Not
That's a
everybody,
whole.
But it's getting better.
another.
you think so?
I think it's getting better.
Well, that's good. How do you feel about that, Mont?
I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I'm not. They are what they are. People buy licenses. They're entitled to do whatever that license allows them to do, and that's
Right.
the way I feel about that. I am under the impression if that technology is going to help me be better, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
100% until they tell me I can't. Right.
Yep, it's just I don't know. It's like a growth of the angler, almost morally. As once you realize that you can, not at will, but like your success rate goes up. I think at some point in your fishing career, you're like, I just don't need to keep everything that I catch.
Right.
It's okay to let some
It's
go.
okay to let it go.
Yeah.
Because next time I want to come out and have a good day, I want to catch fish. For me, it's more about catching than it is about
Yeah,
harvesting.
I'm the same way.
So there's the difference though. A lot of folks are out to harvest, get your limit and go home. So I mean that's always the deal.
Anything new with flasher technology that's going on, or any new Markham units that are super BA that we need to talk about, or
I mean, they haven't changed in the last 2 years, but they are still phenomenal.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, the tech on the live imaging or the live like the live scope,
Live scope.
Mega Live. The flasher tech really hasn't changed much. It's still pretty basic.
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
you look at Vexlar, they haven't changed a thing in 20 years.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know the technology behind the transducer of the flasher, that whole deal, hasn't changed in 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they had any other new bells and whistles that Markham's added to it. That
Like you're seeing obviously lithium come onto the scene.
Yep.
So all the units have gotten lighter, right? Reduced weight, half the weight, 2-3 times the runtime with lithium. They've added external lighting, USB port charging.
Yep.
So you've seen a lot of changes to the base equipment,
Okay,
but
yep.
not the
what you're seeing.
actual tech in the fish finder side of things. So,
Okay. But that's where the forward facing sonar stuff is.
Right? I
Such
think,
a leap forward. It's like dramatic.
It's
yeah. I
it's
think the flasher thing kind of reached its pinnacle.
Yep.
well, so your traditional searching for let's go with bass and panfish. I know Nick was just chasing panfish
Yeah.
yesterday. I'm still trying to get him to tell me where he was because he had some nice ones. But anyway, 8-inch hole, straight down, boop, right?
Yep.
20-degree transducer is pretty standard. So 20 feet, you're looking at about a 5-foot swath. Well, with the live imaging, now I'm looking at a 100-foot, 120-degree swath. I'm drilling a tenth of the holes, but I'm covering
Right.
20 times the water. So, I
Right.
mean, it's, I don't know, things are getting easier.
Well, absolutely.
It's pretty
100%.
Sure.
So tackle side now, what's anything new in the rods and reels world? I'm just kind of going through each category as I go here.
Why don't you go through what we sell for customs?
I
Maybe
mean,
Troy's
custom-
new one.
Custom, we got Troy came out with the Scandic this year, which is a little beefier of a stick.
When you say beefier, you're talking like more walleyes and stuff like that.
the whole from the panfish to walleye, the blanket itself is a little stiffer.
Okay.
The Scandic is what I was using yesterday. That was a panfish rod, super light tip.
A good backbone. They're really well designed.
A great backbone.
This is what
for
St.
only
Croix
$100
said?
bucks.
Yep.
Okay. $100.
For only $100.
Nice.
Most custom rods are getting into that $120 to $160 range.
For a nice
And,
rod.
for a nice rod.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's always blown my mind. Summer, 7-foot chunk of graphite, bigger guide
Right.
set, bigger everything. Same price as a 32 inch.
But if you look at it though, as things get smaller, the price usually goes up.
right.
As a whole, like computers, computer chips, phones,
Yeah.
everything, the price usually goes up because what it takes to make something smaller still be functional is there's more time into it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Ice
anything about
rod
rod
is more,
building, but it
more
makes sense.
tedious too. There's more things that go into an ice rod.
yeah, I
Smaller,
suppose.
smaller pieces.
I know what you're saying though.
The labor is probably just the labor side
Right.
of things is as intensive or costly as it would be to
Right.
assemble a
I mean,
bigger
it makes
rod.
sense. I don't know if that's why it is, but it makes sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, it's all good.
I like my little sidebars.
So-
That's it. That's why you don't run out of things to talk about.
No,
right.
go. We're
Yeah, so we got Croy Custom, we have Mags Custom, we have Elliott Custom. JT.
Is there one that's outselling everything else?
Well, right now, we're running a 20% off, and the Mags are flying off the show.
Nice.
So
That's how it
I was
works.
just looking at our display the other day, and there's like 10 rods left. We had like 40.
yeah. His little glass noodle is really popular.
Okay.
Yep.
Am I close enough with this? I mean,
I mean, this is how the professionals
can
do
I
it.
get studio?
That's all I'm saying. This is how the professionals do it.
Can
Do
someone
we need to scoot
I'm making it
closer?
someone
work. You're
talk to
good.
me?
You're good. You're good.
But yeah, no, we're running 20% off all of our custom rods right now.
Okay.
And I think Nick covered on just about all of them.
So what's the new hot bait then? Every year it seems like there's that one hot bait that everybody is trying to find. Is that happening this year? Or
I got a thought.
did the fish take a year off?
I would probably say one of our hottest new additions is our P3 plastic.
P3 plastics. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
And they got, I don't know if that's what you were running yesterday, but they got a huge
Yep.
assortment of body style. We carry 100% of the assortment. I should have not ordered 100% because
There's
it's,
so many.
I don't know, what is it? 12 feet, 3 feet high of panfish. That's just one brand.
Wow.
We carry multiple brands of plastic. So
Yep.
plastic's kind of a big thing. It's always been
Is that starting to
A
take
soft
over
spot.
live bait a little bit or not really?
it's the,
Or is
it's
it like in
it's
addition
so.
to? Or you think it is?
I think so. I mean, there's nothing worse than fishing outside too and having to rebait every fish.
Right.
I kind of look at it like the spring walleye jig and minnow jig and plastic trend. I think it's guys are starting to experiment with it, realizing how effective it is. Not that you don't need live bait because we sell live bait,
But you usually don't.
but you usually don't.
You usually don't.
You don't a
No.
lot of times.
And I
You,
think
you
what I
take it just in case.
Because there are times. you
Because
know,
there are times.
But even then, you really usually don't. It's a confidence thing, in my opinion.
Right.
I can't remember the last time I used a piece of live bait at all. Just confidence. It's just you have to know that this other stuff works.
Yep.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and the trade off is I might catch one less fish on a day where it might be slow, but I don't have a bunch of dead stuff in my cooler later.
Right. Well, and
Because I know I'm not the only guy that leaves their stuff later that ends up having some dead stuff in their cooler once in a while.
No, and I found somebody dumped theirs in our minnow tank last night. Too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I opened up.
Are you kidding me?
I opened the tank up this morning, and somebody had
See,
Rosie's fatheads and shiners in my large emerald
See, like,
shiners.
what, like
den.
honestly, like what like
the
maybe I
sign,
shouldn't
the
say this,
sign
but
on,
what's wrong with some people that would do that? I mean,
I think
honestly,
it's the sign on the bait tank that says "Don't dump your dead minnows in our fresh minnow tanks."
well, why would you
It's
do that
Probably not
anyway?
large enough.
Like, just think about that.
I know.
Like, just think about the mindset of somebody that does that.
I mean,
And then
throw 'em in
somebody
the
else
parking lot at least.
No, but then
Yeah.
somebody else will be like, "Well, why can't we have nice things?" Well, this is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
So
somebody's
I have,
going to dump their dead minnows in the bait store's minnow tank.
Yeah,
Like,
so
come
I
on.
have a 5-gallon bucket right next to the tank
for that purpose.
for that purpose.
So it's literally like you had to go out of your way to screw the system.
Yeah.
Or just not read. I don't know. It's not a.
Well, don't
it's
make
a,
excuses.
It's a rare occurrence.
Don't make excuses.
I don't like to pick on
That's-
people, Brian.
Right.
No, but that's just stupid.
That is dumb.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, I can't.
That's dumb. That's dumb, Justin.
It's rude.
That's dumb.
It's rude.
It's not helping
it's-
the next guy out.
No,
No.
it's pretty.
Next guy's coming here trying to get minnows, and I'll be like, "We got dead minnows," because the
Right.
last guy dumped some dead minnows in
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Jesus.
Well,
Yeah,
if
that's
anybody-
why I pay attention to them.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I see, like stuff like that irritates me. Could you tell?
Yeah, no.
That's just so
I,
stupid.
I went through security footage to see if I could see who it was.
Well, you should.
I couldn't find who it was.
You should. Not like I don't mean you can't press charges against something so stupid, but like, come on, man.
No, I'm serious though.
But you're the type
I
of
saw
guy.
that same thing, and
But you're the type of guy that would call them out the next time they showed up,
I would just put your picture on the door and say, "Please don't."
as you should.
If you're
Honestly,
if
Blow it
this
up
is
right at the
you-
bait
Heck
tank.
yes.
If this
Have you
is
seen
you-
this guy?
If you see this guy, don't let him dump dead
Right.
minnows in the tank.
Slash just tight. No, don't do that.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not violent.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what in God, like, why? Why would anybody do that?
I don't know,
I don't know.
Brian. You know
The-
the world is
The
full of
same
crazy
people that dump
so-
24 crawlers into 24 crawlers to make them 48 and charge them at the register for 24 crawlers.
Mm.
Good
Well,
Lord. I
what
mean,
makes the world go
seriously.
round?
So what else? Yeah. Okay, I gotta bring my blood pressure down a
All
little
right,
bit.
we'll talk about tungsten. What do you,
All right.
Nick? What do you? Now we got a huge tungsten jig assortment to match that P3 plastics assortment.
Oh yeah.
In addition to P3, just to finish up on the plastic, we carry all the Berkeley Gulp stuff, the power bait.
Yep. Great stuff.
We carry the new Clam Silkies, which is not a plastic. It's a finesse panfish style bait that's become really popular. It started working its way from Minnesota kind of over.
What's the name of that?
It's called the Clam Silky.
Okay.
It literally is like a 1-inch piece of silk thread with multiple pieces of tiny silk thread in a little rubber BB, a little rubber ball. You can fish it wacky or you can fish it straight.
Now we're wacky fishing on the ice.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's the
Nice, I
design.
like it.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
I've been
everything,
fishing
everything's
wacky
blending.
Oh yeah.
The whole
Well,
industry.
fish are fish, right? I mean,
Like
Right.
I'm seeing such a huge trend of not to get off ice, but
no,
like walleye guys buying bass crankbaits.
Oh,
Like,
for
that's
sure.
been the biggest trend for the last.
I mean,
few
like
years.
fish don't really think that they're one species or the other. They see minnows
Well,
and they eat them.
How many times have we had the bass rod, walleye rod marketing
Oh yeah.
discussion,
Oh,
right? If it
100%.
says
Right.
St. Croix walleye on it, a bass guy, it won't be in his boat.
Would not touch it with a 10-foot
No,
pole.
no, I can't catch bass on that. Not that that's maybe his perception, but it says walleye, and
The funny thing is their tournament walleye and bass rod are the same rod, just different handles.
Yep. Oh, for sure. And
Exact
for
same rod.
Right, but in some regards, the handles do make a difference. That's a huge part of
Right.
your rod.
Yep.
And how you fish it and how it feels and the control of it and everything. So I get that. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, fish are fish and they eat stuff.
yeah,
Right.
and people are realizing that
I mean, that's what they do.
that's
That's
they
literally all they do.
eat,
Is they eat and they spawn.
Yep.
That's it.
and that's
their
spawn's
entire
only 2 weeks
function.
a year.
Yep.
That's why it's so intense. Can you imagine?
And then they eat.
Then they eat.
That's what they do. They eat.
All right, back to tungsten. What's your tungsten favorite? I know we got a whole bunch of it.
I mean, I've had a lot of Fiskas. Good luck with Fiskas for a while. We got a lot of Fiskas.
Yeah, we've been selling those for a long time.
Viscas has been a good brand. I don't
We've
know.
had that since Oshkosh, haven't we?
Yeah, I think that's been part of our assortment for a long
Mhm.
time. Full assortment Kenders. We have a car, which is a off-brand we bring in from Russia. They got some pretty unique stuff that you can't find.
Right. Like the hole in the jig. I had a guy return some holes the other day because they didn't have eyes. He's like, these are defective.
So
I'm like,
explain
no.
that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Explain
So there's
that.
a hole top to bottom, so you can schnell the hook, so it has a vertical or a horizontal presentation
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
So you don't have to mess with your knot.
So where your traditional jig eye is,
Yep.
is gone, and it's a hole straight through.
Yeah.
Straight through the hook. Or
Straight
straight
through
through
the
the
head.
jig head. Okay.
Straight through the jig
Straight
head,
through the jig head.
through the paint.
And then you tie schnell around the hook, and it sits horizontal.
It's genius.
So what? So the guy thought there was no eyes on the jig. Like what? What do you mean?
There is. He
Right.
didn't understand.
Yeah, he
and a lot
didn't.
of people don't. When I first
Right.
thought out, I was like, "Yeah,
What
I should
is
probably
this?
send these back. These
Oh,
are
really?
These are defective."
Okay.
No, they're not. It's you push the line through the top of the head, and then you schnell it to the hook. And the idea, I think, behind most panfish plastics, probably a lot of presentations under the ice, is you want your jig to sit horizontal. Like if your plastic's horizontal and your jig's horizontal, and you can just work that bait. If you set the hook or you catch a fish and your bait goes vertical,
Yep.
like they won't eat it. Like your strike.
And that's the same as open water. Remember we used to have the tank in Oshkosh
Yep.
and how we'd watch the fish eat the live minnows 100 times faster than they eat the dead ones.
Yep.
And then they'd almost only eat the dead ones when they twitch.
Yep.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like if the dead minnows were floating in the tank, nothing would touch them. They wouldn't touch them. You would think they would just eat them because they got dumped in there with. I mean, we used to have feeding frenzies at this. You would have loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it minus the maintenance part.
Minus the maintenance.
It was pretty sweet, but
My kids would have freaked.
it was still what 16,000 gallons, 11,000 gallons.
11,000 gallons. The part that freaked me out of the maintenance was the volume of water going through that system at one time. It was like 200 gallons a minute.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So-
But we had like smallies in this tank
That's
that you could
awesome.
watch them change color when they get excited. So like when they knew they could like sense Justin walking up to the top to dump the minnows in,
Sure.
they'd start changing colors. They get real vibrant because they knew it was feeding time.
Yep.
Well, then we'd dump a whole pile of minnows, a bucket full of minnows in there, and those fish would go nuts. And they would eat anything that was alive, and all the dead ones would remain. You would
Sure.
think in a feeding frenzy like that, they would have just ate it all.
Oh.
But they wouldn't touch the dead ones.
Nope.
But then after all the live ones are gone, and then if the dead one twitched once in a while, boom, it gets smacked.
They would sit there and just watch that dead one just float. And you're right. If that thing just
If
twitched
it
a
just
little
twitched, boom,
boom.
gone instantly. But if it was just dead, floating, nothing would touch it. Well, you wouldn't think they'd be that.
Picky.
whatever. But it comes back to the horizontal. That's why I even brought that up, was the horizontal piece. Like, it matters.
Yeah.
Because they don't eat stuff that's dead. And
Right.
dead things are what float down. Everything else is swimming horizontally.
Sure.
It seems relatively simple, but if you don't think about it, and you just be like, well, I'm going to put a chunk of meat on my hook and throw it down the hole,
Right.
and my buddy's getting bit and I'm not, it's probably a really good reason for that. Right? He might not be intentional, but he's maybe doing that and you're not.
And if you think about that now, then you wonder why Senko works at all.
Well, it's always horizontal.
I know, but it's almost, I guess it does.
But
shit.
that's my point. That shimmies, but every time you flick it, everything goes back to horizontal again.
Right.
I think that's why it's so popular.
It's insane.
Or why not popular? It's popular because it works. I think that's why it works.
For sure.
What else we got in the ice world?
Anything
that's
else
cool?
new, like super crazy new, or did COVID kind of settle this back a little bit on the innovation side of things? That's what I feel like in a lot of these areas is we're kind of off a year because of COVID. Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's like if you look at, because ice fishing is mainly vertical jigging, right? So how
Right.
much has the vertical jigging open water world changed in the last 3-4
That's
years?
true.
Can you think about? I can't, other than
I'm
jigging style.
just
ice
like glide
jigging.
baits. Like we had those other glide baits with the wings a couple years ago that
Yeah.
were popular. Where the wings would open and fold based on I just didn't know if there's anything new, super catchy like that might not be the hot seller, but it's kind of new and creative, kind of a.
God, yeah, the ice tackle.
Totally.
I mean, we have a massive assortment of ice tackles. So I guess it's mainly just fish catching, producing staples that we've built the assortment around.
Yep.
I don't have anything.
So
There's been a jump in maybe more of the like chain drop style spoons. I think that has kind of caught on.
But at the end of the day, we're still talking your Castmaster spoons and your and your ripping wraps and jigging wraps, excuse me, and your jigging ripping wraps and your same old for the most part. Any new hot colors that you've been seeing come through? Because Bago seems to be like, you got your clown all the time, right?
Right.
But there seems to be like every year there's some new color that like catches fire and.
Actually, it's not really new. Kender's makes a T rip and a K rip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the K rip is basically a small rattle bait, rip and wrap, a lipless crankbait, whatever. So maybe that's not really a new trend.
No.
We do have some custom colors, and Z-Viber makes one, or Eurotackle makes one, called the Z-Viber. Z-Viber Micro. Kender's Tungsten T-Rip is a horizontal tungsten body with a rattle chamber and a one-back treble. And then the K-Rip is more like a mini lipless. I mean, these things are tiny.
Really?
And you talk to guys that clean, walleyes and a lot of fish on panfish or bluegills as the main forage, and a lot of times you'll find their bellies just chock full of hundreds of those little things.
Just little tiny bait, huh?
Yeah. So I think
Wow.
the bluegills are on everybody's menu.
They're not mine.
Poor things. They should be. They're delicious.
Well, they are.
Delicious.
And they are. That's fantastic. All right, so let's just real quick before we wrap this one up. You guys heading out this weekend? I'm assuming you guys both ice fish, right?
Yep.
What's on the docket for the weekend?
My decision usually is made on Friday night with my wife.
Depending on wherever your wife wants to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
We almost made it through,
come on,
guys.
tell me
We almost made it through
Tell me
without
I'm
a Justin's
wrong.
wife joke.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. I'm comfortable. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna mess around on the bay. There's
Okay.
been a pretty good perch and walleye bite on Lower Bay at West Side. Couple of the bays.
I'm assuming the river's not a go.
The river
I
actually.
heard there was boats out there.
there was
this
boats
weekend.
in De Pere, last week. So
Boats in the pier.
that's the first for a bit, but that should tighten back up too.
Yeah,
But
for
like I
sure.
said, with those temps, you'll have guys probably ice fishing on
Next
the Fox
weekend.
by next weekend again, which I love the Fox, so
Yeah.
I'm happy for it to refreeze.
Nice.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go up on the bay and chase. The landing should be all tightened up now. So I was out last weekend, just checking spots, and I had anywhere from 6 to 10 inches on the bay. The issue again was the shoreline access.
Okay.
Mostly walking,
Yep.
which I hate because it's exercise and it is a lot of work. But I have Jess there to drag my stuff for me. But no, I'm gonna hit up the bay. I don't know, Nick. What do you got for plans on?
I've been trying to get over to Mississippi for 3 weeks now, and Things just keep coming up and up and up, and then I watch my buddies just pound the perch, and then I'm like, nah.
So you think this weekend might be the time?
I think this weekend.
Just going to rip the Band-Aid off and give her full send?
If something doesn't come up, I'm going full send.
There's no question.
Sometimes you got to be in control of your own calendar. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just take charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Right, Nick? You got to take charge and don't
Right.
let everybody
Hey,
else
Nick,
make decisions
make sure
for you, Nick.
you take charge of your life and make the decisions that are important to you. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just kick them in the throat.
So one random question I thought of. So you muskie fish a lot.
Yep.
On the bay.
Yep.
They ever, I mean, I know it's not in season, so you can't target them or whatever, but does anybody ever hook them through the ice? You never hear about it.
They do, but
Do you not hear about it because there's no way you're getting them anywhere close? Is that why?
You would think with as many fish, and there's a lot of lakes that have muskies in them, that these pike fishermen would catch more.
Their metabolism slows way down.
I think that's really what, kind of like
think that's all
smallmouth
it is? They
bass.
just
Like
don't
you
eat?
can target smallmouth through the ice, but the number of days that they eat, I think,
But
are
they're
very
almost in
limited
hibernation to a
'cause
point.
Right.
They're so dormant. Yeah.
Okay. That's it. I just a random thought when you said you're going up to the bay. You never see anybody accidentally holding up. I mean, again, I know they're not in season. I get that.
Once in a while.
Oh, I wish
Once in a while.
I'd be all over that.
What was that?
If muskies
Could you imagine?
sped up their metabolism and started eating through the ice better,
Can you
Right.
imagine?
that'd be awesome.
Now, why is their metabolism different than a pike?
I don't.
It's a great question.
So it's either I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I feel like it's either metabolism or just the population density compared to northern pike is so much lower.
Yeah.
So
But on the bay, you wouldn't think that'd be the case because where would they go in the winter? Are they out in the middle somewhere? Or are they where they are in the fall?
once in a while you hear, like 2-3 years ago, Jess caught one in De Pere, but it was only like a 30-incher.
Okay.
Right.
I should say caught one. We lost that hole. She yelled at me. She's like, "Stick your arm down there and get it." I'm like, "No." It's only 30. If it was a 40, I probably would have went.
All right. Fair enough.
But no, it's not. You'd think because obviously the Fox River De Pere
Right.
is one
That's
of
what I
the
mean. Like the fall, they're everywhere. Everyone's catching muskie all over
fall,
the place.
spring, just like the walleyes. They move in the fall. They stay all winter.
Right.
They spawn in the spring. I mean, you get batches of fish that move
sure.
that don't stage in the river, but a lot of them do. You think the muskies would do the same thing with all that forage in
Right.
there?
Well,
No.
with all the other fish in there, because they're kind of the top of the food chain, right?
Right.
I mean, it's 20-inch walleye is kind of on the menu.
Everything's on the menu.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just curious to me why that would be the case.
Oh, it's a good question. Wish I had the answer.
All right. So real quick before we wrap this up, what you guys mentioned the 20% off of the Mags rods.
Yep.
What other kind of sales does the Real Shot have going on right now? Like other than that, guys, you have these memorized?
I got to memorize. You want to hit it? I can spit it.
This is a test.
Is there anything we can't say?
No, everything's off
Everything's off
map policy.
map policy.
Fair enough.
That's a
All right. Let her fly.
Sure. Yeah, we got some stupid deals on Strike Masters. We even did a deal on Alpha, so the new Alpha. Smoking deal.
Okay.
100 off.
100 off. And
Nick's gonna sign that one today. I think we only have 4 of those units left, so
Yep.
that's one you probably don't want to miss.
that is the best auger on the market right now. It's 3 times faster, 15 pounds, 40 volt.
I can't get over the word of that.
2,000
That's
inches
crazy.
of ice on one charge. It's crazy.
2,000 inches of ice.
2,000 inches of ice.
Wow. What is that divided by 10?
20. I don't
20.
know. So yeah, 20% off all in-stock ice rods. We have 13, Mag, St. Croix, JT, Elliott, Clam, Dead Meat. We got HT Blues. We got Fenwick World Class. We have 13 Wickeds. We have, holy smokes, we have a lot of stuff. We have
got a lot.
30% off all of our combos. Again, a lot of the similar brands. We buy standalone rods and combos both. So those are all 30% off. And we still have a huge inventory also. Like Nick mentioned, we have $100 off the poly. We have 100 to 150 off a lot of the Strike Master units, the pistol bits, the drill adapter ones where you hook them up to your power drills. Light Flight, Strike Master makes a Light Flight, same deal. We got those on sale. Electronics, Markham.
Yep, we
They
got a
got
couple
some sweet rebates.
clearance Markhams, and they got $50 to $100 off in rebates.
Really?
On each unit.
Hey, we didn't talk shacks at all. Is there anything new with shacks, or is it
I mean,
anything super exciting
the
with shacks?
Eskimo Outbreak has been the standalone best hub system out there
Morning,
with
Bob.
with a full door. They have a full door now, so you don't trip over. There's
Oh,
that
nice.
little
Okay, yep.
little half triangle thing. And the space is wider. It comes in. We have it in a 250. I think the last 450 sold, so we have 652.
Which is just sizing. So
Which is
the bigger the
sizing.
number, the bigger the shelter. 250s 2 to 3, 450s 3 to 5, and the 650s 5 to 7.
Yeah.
I think men,
Yeah.
bodies,
Seems
people,
like you spend some time looking through the catalogs.
babies. I dabble in them. I like to read.
Yeah. So ice camping has been getting huge
Really?
the last couple of years.
Like actually staying in your shacks?
Actually staying in the shack, and the 650 is perfect for that. You can
Okay.
fit 2 cots on each side and still have 40 feet of room in the middle,
Wow.
square foot of room.
Nice.
It's a
You-
party.
you-
it's a
What are
party
people
shack.
using for heaters then with that? Like
You know, they usually have the Mr. Buddy, but that new hog heater has been new on the scene, and that thing is legit.
really?
The propane is
You
captured
see how I led you
inside.
into that one?
Yep. Yeah.
You paying attention
That
to
was
those?
more, I
You
know.
saw the
I
heat
know
hogs,
things.
did you?
Yeah,
I do.
those things are
Anyway.
pretty slick. So the thing about the heat hog is the propane is inside the heater.
Really?
It's
okay. I
it's
was wondering
captured.
about that.
It's captured inside, so it doesn't hit the elements like a
So it
Mr.
doesn't
Buddy
freeze.
was. So it
The tank
wouldn't
doesn't freeze. Okay.
The standard heater has a curvature to it, so it's going to hit different areas more than a straight-on heater
Yep.
would just throw heat straight. It can expand the heat a little bit, and you can tilt the heater too. So if it's on the floor, you can tilt it up at you. It's blowing right on your
Nice.
face. It's pretty slick.
Now, can you still hook that up to like a 20-pound cylinder if you want?
Yeah, you sure
They have
can.
okay, cool.
And I think the heat hogs, I believe they all come with the regulator inside them.
I think so.
So if you buy a Buddy, everybody owns Buddy. It's been one of the most popular
Oh, for
heating
sure.
brand forever. But you'd always have to buy the aftermarket, either the filter or the regulator to
Mm-hmm.
run it off a big cylinder. So the heat hog actually includes that now with the cost. So it's a pretty cool unit.
Awesome. Very
Really
cool.
slick.
Have we been selling quite a few of those?
A few.
Well, it's just like
it's
anything
still
else,
new
right?
on the
if
game.
it's new, everybody's
It's
like,
new on
"Oh,
the
I don't know,
game."
is that going to work?
See, heater sales
New is scary.
when it's 42 and raining aren't always
Right.
bad.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but like you said, these temps this next week, that should really,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that should really get things
We're
cranked up.
really going to get second ice season. Our worst fear is that we're going to be freezing in March still, like we've had years past.
Right.
Which is kind of depressing. Even though I like ice fishing,
Right.
like I want it to end.
But
Right.
usually by March 1, everybody's done with winter.
Yeah.
Right.
We're done with cold. We want spring.
Everybody wants to be in the boat by opener.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up today. That leads me into Friday. We've got Gary Atkins going to be in here. The 2022 AOI from the MPFL.
Heck yeah, dude.
Definitely will not be talking about ice fishing.
No, but I'll definitely be listening because
Yeah, right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
super excited to talk to him about how his season went and how that all went. So, obviously, I'm hopefully Matt's back. If not, I'm sure Kyle will join me for that one.
Sure.
Hopefully Matt's feeling better by then. So get well, Matthew, because we all miss you so
Yeah,
much.
man, do I miss you, man? Jesus.
All right. With that, we'll head out. See everybody on Friday. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good.